All right, what's up, guys? Hope everybody is doing well, and wanted to go ahead and cover the 7.5 mile squad ruck that me and my guys completed on Saturday, February the 22nd, 2025. Today is Sunday, just for reference. So that was yesterday, and I want to do this while it was still fresh on my mind. And so we might as well just go ahead and get started. The format of this will be a little bit different than what I typically do. This is going to be more of a PowerPoint style format. So therefore, you guys will probably be viewing these slides as we talk about this. And I may even include some B-roll footage as we go along of some cool stuff like shooting at the range. So let's just go ahead and get started. So 7.5 mile squad ruck on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025, right? And the location, that's important, right? Everybody's going to want to know, so let's talk about it. The location was the Doodle Trail, and this trail spans from Pickens to Easley in upstate South Carolina. If you guys are familiar with upstate South Carolina, some of you may be from around this area, then you probably are familiar with what I'm talking about here. This is my first time visiting the trail. Some of the homies that I embarked on this journey with have been to the trail before, and they are very familiar with that area, right? Excuse me, I got a little twisted up there. But so let's go ahead and proceed on. And what you're seeing right here in front of you is a graphic of the trail and the distance that we covered. So pretty cool, right? Pretty good accomplishment for us, and I felt like I got some shit done yesterday, so that was really good. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about what everybody's going to be interested in for sure, because gear is something that everybody likes to talk about, and I'm the same as well. I enjoy it too. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So gear I use, let's start with the pack. The pack that I used was my larger pack, my Crossfire DG3, which is a 55-liter rucksack. I made a video or two about it before. If you want to go back channel, if you guys want to revisit it and see the way that I have it packed now, then I'm more than happy to do that. Just let me know if there's any interest, and I will likely end up doing that anyway. So that's what I had for my pack. Weight of the pack ended up being probably a little over 40 pounds by the time I added my water bladder. So, and the thing about it is I didn't add any weights or anything weird like that. I just carried it the way that it's packed. And like I said, we can get into that on a separate video. But I have it packed the way that I think it's going to be good. And that's how I stepped off with it, right? So wanted to keep it kind of realistic there. And I didn't really see any reason to go adding weights or anything like that, which is common. And there's nothing really wrong with that. But that just wasn't the way that I approached this particular assignment. So clothing, which can be important as well, right? As we all know. So clothing, I was running a synthetic base layer, long sleeve, and a t-shirt over the top, right? So nothing crazy there. Just a majority, like 94% polyester and like 6% spandex, Reebok, long sleeve, synthetic base layer. Pretty warm, pretty comfortable. It'll dry fast. I really like these shirts, especially in the colder months, colder season. I like them, and I like to layer up with them. So that's what I had for my tops. And as far as my pants, I had Ariat flame retardant work jeans, super lightweight and super comfortable. A lot of articulation, a lot of room for expansion, and just almost stretchy, not really stretch pants, but very forgiving as far as movement and motion goes. So that was a solid choice. I was a little bit on the fence about what I was going to do there as far as pants, but I ended up going with those over something like a traditional BDU. And that worked out really well for me. So I wouldn't change that, either of those things. So that was solid. Footwear. Let's talk about footwear because that is most certainly pertinent to the discussion. So footwear, I was running Merrell Moab mid-height tactical boots. They are the size zip. If I had it to do over, I wouldn't purchase size zips, but I haven't had any issues with these shoes. They cost about $150. I've had them for probably a few years now, and the outsole doesn't really show any wear, and no issue there. They are a little bit hot, but since it's the colder months, they are a waterproof boot. It doesn't really affect me in an adverse way, given that it's colder outside. Now, if it was super hot summertime, you would probably want to maybe pivot and go a different route. And I'm looking into sourcing a different set of boots for the hotter months, but that's another subject. I got something in mind anyway. So so let's see, Darn Tough socks, merino wool. They're like 70% merino wool, mid-weight, tactical boot sock with full cushion. That's what I was running. I got them right here, guys. And there's some photos and stuff in the presentation as well. Some of you folks may be familiar with these. They are very expensive socks, like $30 for one pair of socks. But they seem to work out really well for me. They kept my feet dry. I have no complaints about them whatsoever. So let's see what's next. If you guys are familiar with rucking and wearing these full-size packs, you know that carrying a firearm in a traditional way, like inside the waistband, it doesn't really work. You get a lot of interferences. So therefore, I went with the 511 Skyweight chest pack with the SIG P365 inside with the 12+1 round setup on board, and then a 17-round spare magazine, right? So I just transitioned my EDC from my waistband into the chest pack. So, and that worked out really well. No hot spots, no discomfort. Obviously, when you're wearing a chest rig or a chest panel, you're gonna have a little bit of heat trapped in the areas that it's covering, mainly your chest, right? But no big deal, right? Like I said, it was pretty cool. When we stepped off, it was like 30 degrees, so not a big deal. And then on the exterior, on the front of the 511 chest pack, I was running a One Tigris Molly cell phone holder, and that worked out really well for me also. And I picked that up recently. I picked up most of those items, like the socks and the chest pack and the Molly cell phone holder, in anticipation of this particular event. And I wanted to make sure that my equipment was up to par and that I didn't have to fight my gear selection the whole time, because I knew that it was going to be a challenge anyway. And everything that I chose ended up working out really well for me. So no issues to report on any of that stuff. So let's move on. And this is just another view of the 511 Skyweight chest pack and the socks laid out, as well as the SIG P365. And you can also see a visual representation of the Molly phone holder from One Tigris mounted on the chest pack. And this is the way that I ran it when it was, this is the configuration that I ran for the ruck. And like I said, I purchased all this stuff for this particular event and for ongoing events that may come in the future as far as rucking, because I needed a way to carry my pistol and it be accessible. And also it was about time to go ahead and pick up a good pair of socks. So that's where I landed, guys. And I can make individual videos on these items going forward, and I plan to. So if you guys are interested in the particulars of the items or the gear that I ran, just stand by for that. All right, so right here we have just a still shot of me getting some live fire repetitions from the chest pack, and I can go ahead and tell you guys that I'm really impressed with it. It works really well. As far as the draw and presentation of the firearm, it's seamless. You got pull tabs for left or right-handed built into the chest pack. You just rip it, the zipper pulls open, and you just grab your gun and you go to work. So really pleased with this setup, honestly. And the fact that it accepts a dangler is a definite plus in my mind, because that way I can run an IFAK, or if I didn't want to run the IFAK there, maybe I'm running an ankle IFAK or something like that, then I can go ahead and stuff that with any other items that I may feel necessary for the task that I'm trying to accomplish. So really cool, really like those. And some folks that I was with were asking about different ways and kind of what's the best way to carry your handgun accessibly when you're rucking, and this right here works for me for now, and I'm really impressed with it. All right, so let's just go ahead and kind of summarize this thing and put it in a nutshell and talk about the lessons that I learned. So number one, I proved to myself that I'm fully capable of a medium distance movement by foot with my gear on my back. This is the first time I've been on a ruck of this distance, and I've done like 5Ks, 3.1 miles, stuff like that. I think I went 4 miles is the longest, if I remember correctly, out here, and that was with my medium Alice loaded up, and of course my standard EDC loadout. And yeah, so that was one of the biggest things, was the mental aspect of, hey, can you really make it happen? And yes, made it happen. So my systems, another thing that I learned is that my systems are capable of facilitating such activities when required, right? So my gear was set up good. I took a water bladder and laid it up on the top of my ruck and closed it in under the lid. Didn't really have any issues with that. I could have stood to tighten my lid up a little bit. It was a little bit sloshy when we were jogging and stuff, and all I had to do was get one of the homies to tighten it up, but it was one of them things where we just kept pushing, and I just kind of dealt with it. But really all it needed was about another 1/2 inch of tension on the compression straps, and all of that was eliminated. So, but that's just one of those things, right? So then the Darn Tough socks are nice, and they definitely help my feet stay dry and relatively comfortable. I also applied moleskin before stepping off, of course, as you should if you got hot spots or anything like that, or you're prone to blisters. I know where my hot spots tend to be, so I went ahead and applied the moleskin on the balls of my feet, on both feet, and I also put some cloth medical tape on both of my heels, and everything worked out well. It wasn't until probably about mile 5.5 or 6 where my hot spots started. I started feeling them. I knew they were there, but it wasn't really anything too terrible. So I just went ahead and handled business. It really wasn't that bad, right? But I did notice that my feet were starting to get a little bit hot, if you want to say it that way. The 511 chest pack is good to go, period. It provides me with an effective solution to maintain rapid access to my firearm with virtually zero interference. Again, the straps and the buckles are low profile and comfortable. The buckles are placed strategically where they don't interfere with your pack or anything like that. There's no buckles, no hardware on the back anywhere where the pack is going to be located. As far as running my sternum strap, it doesn't interfere with the chest pack. My waist strap doesn't interfere with the chest pack. It just worked. I couldn't have asked for more, guys. I mean, it was absolutely perfect. As far as systems working together, that shit worked out phenomenally. So zero complaints there. And as far as the One Tigress Molly phone holder, it's pretty cool. And it allows me to have my phone secure and accessible without it bouncing around in a pocket or something like that. And if you guys know or have any experience with that, if you put it in a pocket, like think about a cargo pocket, your phone's going to be loose in there. It's going to be bouncing around. And after a while, that thing can start to cause irritation or hot spots, or at a minimum, it could lead to something that's going to be a bit of a distraction for you, right? So that was a big deal for me as well. And that was a good call. In hindsight, was purchasing that thing, and it looks pretty cool. It's kind of drippy, right? So let's just be honest. Half the battle is looking cool, as they say, right? So that's definitely a factor. But it is good. Got it set up, the One Tigress Molly phone holder, and if you want to run ATAC or some kind of mapping system like that, then you would be good to go, and everything's right there in front of you, kind of like the cool guys run it. So, and that thing was relatively inexpensive as well. Like I said, I intend to do individual videos on these particular items going forward, so just stand by for that. If you guys are particularly interested in one of those items, then by all means, go ahead and feel free to drop a comment and let me know that you want to see it, and I will get around to making those videos going forward. So that's what I got, and I will see y'all next time. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you hit the buttons, like, subscribe, share, come over, check out the Patreon, and go and shop at palmettodescendant.net. I'll see y'all. I'm out.